Welcome to Are You Mad at Me? I'm your host, Vickie Morgan, author of A Famous Sexy Writer. I know, that's where you know me from, as a guide to self-publishing. And it's everything that I knew about self-publishing up until that date. And then I learned a whole bunch of new stuff. So that's why we're here to talk to the real experts in these areas. And I'm joined today by Ida Linehan Young, who is she's my hero in not just for the writing, but for her marketing brain. You're a genius. And I'm so glad you're on the show.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you watched the last episode, Ida was just telling us.
I'll have to make sure my husband hears that. I'm a genius.
She is a genius. And how lucky is he that he gets to read your books the first time through, right?
But he's good. He is good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Got a good head. You like him? It's going well?
He's all right, yeah. We're retired
He's
now.
Your favorite husband.
We'll see. Jury's out.
We'll see how it goes. Okay, so we were talking about your confidence when you're doing your marketing, and I think it's such a big thing and such a simple thing to believe in what you're doing. Like that idea of, you said I thought it was a good book, and so if I'm asking people to support me, then I want to make sure I'm putting out good things.
Yes.
Like it's that. Oh my God.
But you have to, you owe people, they're paying you money. You owe them to be the best it can be.
And so I'm going in my brain right now, did I put out garbage? No, I like my books. I thought they were really good. And so what's the disconnect? Why don't you want to share them with people? I don't know. And talking to you is I don't know why I cringe. I post something on Facebook and also not having the strategy of posting on the author page and then sharing it to my page. And it's I don't want to bother people.
But then they don't have to look at it.
But why are they on my friend's page if they don't want to know what I'm doing?
Right.
And the support that I get, I posted a song just a couple of weeks ago, and I have 900 friends and there was 700 and something views, and I was that means almost everybody watched it. That's support. I did clean up my friends list a little while back, and I took off all the looky-loos, and now I'm left with this core group of they care about what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
So it's a mindset. It really is you can live your whole life feeling you shouldn't take up space and you don't belong here, and or you can be like you and say, look, I'm having fun, and this book is getting in the way of this one, and you're following the creative energy that's just beaming off of you is I just want to be around you all the time. You can come over.
I love writing.
We should start a podcast.
I haven't let's do it.
Let's start a podcast.
I haven't written in ages. I just haven't, because I've been so busy. I was hosting retreats and things like that. So I just have been so busy. So now I really I got a couple of books in the hopper that I got to get going. Yeah.
Do you have a routine? Do you have a certain time of day?
I used to.
Okay.
I used to write every morning before work.
Yeah.
But then
now you don't have anywhere to
go
because you're retired. Congratulations and thanks for all your service.
Thank
you. So tell me, it's the marketing brain and the writing brain, they're very separate things, right?
Not in my, not for me.
Okay.
Because I find that something just clicks in my brain and I'm oh, that'd be good to do that. Yeah. And then I just do it. Yeah. I don't, my daughter says, Mom, before you post, think. Think. Because there's some, and I'm that's you. For me, I would just post and then fix it if there was something wrong.
That's right. Yeah. But if you're inspired to do if you have an idea and following through that day. So when I look at things like marketing plans and stuff, it's it hurts my head. I don't know what I want to post 30 days from now. If I see a trend and I want to do something ridiculous, I follow through. And that stuff is the stuff that usually hits. We were at a signing, Josh and I were at a signing back in, I think, October. And we had nobody. We were there for 2 or 3 hours and there was nobody came by our table. And I got so bored and irritated that I just got up and I said, Josh, turn on the camera. And I just started dancing. There was no music. I just started dancing around. And then this guy came by in a big puffy outfit, and a bunch of kids walked by and they were laughing at me. And there was no music playing in the mall, but and when I went home, I put Monster Mash behind it.
Yeah.
And when I got up in the morning, there was all these messages saying, Vickie, you really did it this time. And I'm what are you talking about? It went viral. There was thousands and thousands. I got a bunch of followers from a stupid dance that just came from...
You never know, right?
I was just bored and irritated. And I was this is so uncomfortable that nobody came by, and ugh. And I just had to get the energy out.
Right? That happens.
But as far as somebody saying, look, post every 3 days or post twice a day, or that plan is that's, I don't have inspiration twice a day or every 3 days. It just happens sporadically.
What I found funny for my latest book is a crime thriller. Mm-hmm. So it has 2 different, it has 1970s and 2020 vibes, right? Like, so I have connected to. And I just saw a review on the Seaboard review over from New Brunswick. And he was like, I had a storyboard. And I'm like, I don't have a storyboard. I just make it up as I go. So the same thing with marketing. Like, I don't want to be stuck in a marketing plan because I'm going to fail.
Right.
I market as I see fit.
Yeah.
Like, I just market as it comes to me. And
so you believe in your writing and you believe in your books and you believe you're putting out a good product.
yes.
And the rest of it follows.
Yes.
So-
And I have the most amazing supporters. Like, I did a giveaway yesterday for my mom's book because it was her birthday. And I believe like there was 200 people commented right off the bat. Like, it's awesome. I do have amazing supporters.
There's no way to teach that to a person unless you just start off with, look, believe in yourself and don't put out garbage.
But like, and I'm
Put out
also,
good stuff.
and don't be like, be humble. Like, be humble, because if I would come off as this, I don't know, not me person, then I don't think I'd have the following that I have. I'm just grateful for everybody that's following me, whereas more people are like insistent on people to follow them, but I don't. I think like I'm just
You're
happy
grateful
for the
ones
people that
showed
are
up.
there, yeah.
Okay.
And they continue to show up.
Okay. So let's talk about Seaweed Publishing, which you started. Tell me where the seed was planted for that. What happened? How did that come to be?
Well, I had a couple of books, so I had to wait like till next year, the year after, for them to come out. But then I have 3 or 4 more books that can be ready, and you know, in that amount. So I just wanted the flexibility of putting it out there. But then when I got into it, like I needed to have storage space, which I don't have. I needed to have like to get it into the format that was needed for the publisher. I had to buy that and learn that. Then I couldn't get somebody to do a cover, so I had to do it on my own. But like, I learned so much doing it that I'm like, hell, I can do this. I can do it.
And you could do it for other people.
I could do it for other people.
So basically, when the history books come out and say this is how Seaweed Publishing, and it's going to have a little tagline that says Ida was impatient, that's why it started. She wanted to get her books out a little faster than she could. Then the publishers could have devour what you were doing.
And like, I think we fall into the trap that, you know, it has to be a numbers, like it has to be on something as a, you know, as a bestseller this or as a bestseller that, but like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, if it fulfills you and you're doing all right, what odds? Like, who cares?
It's so funny chasing the name bestseller because, and this is what people know when they work with us, and we've helped a few people publish their books, and they got bestseller status as well on Amazon.
But that's stupid. Like,
it is.
Because there's like 700 different categories, and if there's not, they'll make one up. Like, you could have the best-selling book from North Harbour, St. Mary's Bay, Newfoundland. Oh, Ida got #1 every time. Of course she did, because she's the only one that writes that book from North Harbour.
And so getting into that mindset of, but if it's so I had a cousin come up to me, and I'm pretty sure she was going to ask me for a loan because she said, you must be doing really well with your bestseller. Like, all it meant, first of all, my second book was How to Fail at Documentary Filmmaking, is about my journey to becoming a musician. So it's, and I didn't want to make anybody mad, so I called it fiction because I put some real names in there. And it was, all it means is that I sold more books than Johnny Cash that week. Who's buying Johnny Cash's biography in this day? Like, when it first came out.
If he had to die, maybe that week you wouldn't.
I think Hank Williams, and there was a couple of ladies, like Loretta Lynn or something like that. But there was a few, but because I put it in the category of folk musician biographies, but it's a fiction book about film.
Yeah.
And there's no policing of that.
No.
So when you put it on there, like, my sales, bestseller in Canada is like 1,000 copies. I haven't even come close to 1,000 copies, but I have a bestseller.
I know,
listing.
like, it's, but now I have to say, my mother's book did, like,
an actual bestseller.
It actually went on the Canadian bestseller list, which was amazing because the only place you could buy it was in St. John's, Newfoundland. And every other book that was on there, you could walk into any bookstore anywhere in Canada and you could buy it except for mine. And it still got on the best. So, like, that's the support that I have.
Yeah. There's something about following the energy of, like, it's a good thing, and you listen to it and you follow through like that. I mean, I don't know, that's something you can teach. You either have it or you don't. And can you teach it? You do writing retreats and stuff out in St. Bride's, of course. Like, is this something that you can teach somebody?
Well, we didn't really do marketing, but we did the like writing stuff, and for some people, like they got blinders on, right, about what they write, and you can't tell them the difference until you show them the difference, and show them what something different looks like, and then they're like they have this aha moment, and you're like, oh my gosh, I helped you get aha.
Successful writing. I'm wondering if I got blinders on myself, and because I want like. Maybe I'm not even a writer. I don't know.
Oh, give it up.
I don't
That's
know.
the imposter syndrome
but
that everybody has.
I don't really know, because when it comes to feedback, I'm so scared of getting feedback from any of my books. Like, I'm terrified that there'll be reviews. Like, what my mother-in-law reviewed my first one and said, she's crazy. She remembers it all wrong. And I was like, what if other people did that? So I'm still.
That's why it's called fiction.
I'm still at that stage. I've got 3 real books out, and then the guides are, they're just tutorials or whatever. But even after all that, it's like, I don't know.
But it's hard to switch from like, it's very difficult to switch from nonfiction to fiction.
I want to.
But it is difficult, right?
I want to play. I'm at that age. Like, I just had like a 30-year reunion, and it's like, I don't want to write any more memoirs. I've overshared. I talk on my podcast every week. Like, I want to play. I want to just, and then the fear of, are you going to really tell people the stuff you think about in your, like, you imagine? Like, I mean, I've written
people
songs.
are going to think it's you anyway.
Well, this is
right.
Just
like,
it.
Even no matter what you fictionalize, people will think it's you.
Do you get a lot of people asking about characters in books, and who are like, do you get people trying to connect the dots in your life? Okay. Yeah. So that's a very vulnerable thing, and I want to do it. Like, I have a concept, and I have a story. It's mostly written. And I was like, what are you nuts? Are you really going to put that out there? You're going to tell people what you think about and what you imagine in your little mental playground? I'm like, yeah. And, I started in high school. I was gung-ho. I was going to be a writer in high school, and I was doing this advanced writing class. I had a really great group in there with me, and I wrote a fiction. One of the assignments was we had to write this fiction short story, and the intention was that this advanced writing class, it was a grade 12, like a senior class, and there was supposed to be a publication. There was going to be everybody in the class would get their thing published in this little anthology.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
so that's why I signed up for that class, and it was such a great idea, and oh my God, I'm going to be published right up when I'm 17. And so I wrote the story. First of all, they didn't have any funding that year to publish. I didn't know anything about publishing back in 1995. So it was like, oh, I guess I'm not going to get published after all. And so I wrote the story, and this is kind of twofold, because I tried to do a fundraiser. My buddy Trevor Kelly was a musician at the time, and he offered to come do a concert for the whole school. It's so funny how it comes around. He was going to come do a concert. He was coming in from Holyrood. He was used to play at like Wilco and the mall. He was like 14, little musician. And so the school let me put this fundraiser together to raise enough money to publish this book. And so they printed off all the names of every single person at Gonzaga in 1994, I guess it was, or 1993. So I had this list upstairs in a bin with every name of every person that was at Gonzaga in that year. The principal at the time said, if you can if you can get half the school to come, we'll do the concert. And I was like short by like 300, I was short by like 30. So I had to give all the money back. But all these people had checked off their names, and I couldn't. So it was just an embarrassing story that I didn't even want to think about it until right this minute.
But you could write a story about that.
So the book, but I wanted to be published when I was 17 to 16.
Write a story
I wanted
about
to be published. That. And so fast forward all these years, I go to my 30-year reunion, and I have this epiphany of this story that I want to write, because there's this thing happens at the event, and it's like, so this person goes back to BC, and I'm back here in Newfoundland, and I don't have anybody to talk to because it's such a weird situation, and I'm starting to talk to ChatGPT. And I was like, what should I do? And ChatGPT is the most supportive thing on the planet. I would never write with AI, but it's a good stepping stone. And so this idea kind of came to me like, well, what if I'm talking to ChatGPT over here in Newfoundland, and this person is out in BC talking to ChatGPT? And what if ChatGPT said, this is bullshit. Like, these people are talking about each other. And the ChatGPT started interfering. And so I was like, this is crazy. And it's so funny that the list with the names is helping me do the research for the character, because it's got this information about this person that, why do I still have this 30 years later in a bin because I wanted to be published, and I wanted to write fiction. And so the story that I wrote for that class is probably still in a bin upstairs too, next to the list. But I started off with like kind of a structure of a thing that sort of happened, and then I made a bunch of stuff up. And the stuff that I made up came true.
Oh, cool.
And it freaked me out. Because I was, Catholic at the time, and I'm a recovering Catholic now. And I was like, oh my God, there might be some witchcraft or something. Maybe I'm like, use some evil energy or something. It terrified me. So I haven't written fiction since I was 17.
Oh, cool.
But I feel
Now's
called.
your time.
But now that after this reunion, I was like, well, how long are you going to wait? Are you going to go to your 40-year reunion and say, I don't know, man. I did some memoirs, but
Sometimes you got to sit into the table with what scares you.
So a song came out of it 2 weeks later, and I posted it. Everybody loved the song. And I was like, maybe I can write the fiction novel, and maybe I'd write a musical afterwards. Maybe there'd be 3 or 4 more songs that I could put together for a musical. And the story, I can see it on stage.
Have a little stage play. Yeah.
I can see it on stage. I can see the lighting cues. I can see the instruments. I can hear the songs. They're both talking to ChatGPT, and he's right there writing songs that sound a lot like the ones she's writing. And so they're like, and then they get together at the end, and there's like harmony, and I think there's a happy ending. She might die at the end. I'm not really sure yet. She might jump into the harbor, but I don't know where it's going to go. And I'm excited to write and see how the story plays out. And like, I'm playing at this age. I'm playing, and I'm getting to have fun.
Maybe she swims around the world to BC.
I don't know,
because she couldn't walk around.
I don't know. That would be a different. I mean, all the way different. Go the opposite way. She'd go.
She'd run away from, but she ends up in BC anyway. She comes ashore in BC.
But of course, the 2 characters are both musicians, and neither one of them is really living the life that they want to, and they go back to their different lives where they're not
make
doing
an
music.
amazing play.
Thank
you really could, submit it. Do a play and submit it to Arts NL. Do it.
You heard it. I mean, it's from the mouths of babes.
No, but do it. Do it.
I'm excited about it, and I feel very
before you forget
energized.
And before your energy runs out, write it.
Yeah.
Write it when you're energized about it.
I started last night, and I was like, I don't know, this is ridiculous. But yeah, and the deadline, it's funny you say that, because the deadline for Arts NL, I thought of it like last Friday, and I was like, oh, I don't know what's even available. And so I actually spent the weekend sending an Arts NL application in for a fiction novel and another one for a musical. So I sent in 2, and they don't compete with each other. So the 2 stories are gone in 2 different forms. And so
it's for a grant, though, not for an Arts NL, right?
Yeah, for a grant.
Yeah.
To write. But I mean, that's just to get paid while you're doing it, in case it never sells or in case nobody comes to the show. But at the same time, like, instead of waiting around, I have all of these other ideas for all these other things I want to do. And it's like, you can't just wait around. In Canada, we're so lucky that you have arts grants.
Yes.
Have you ever had an arts grant?
No.
I mean, that's amazing.
I get some for reading. Sometimes they'll do one for reading.
Like a school tour or something?
No, just a reading grant from they'll give you $300 if you read online or read to somebody. But But so it's harder now to get them. I used to get them during COVID because I was doing it anyway. Yeah. I was doing Friday night reading series. Yeah. Just, to give people something to do.
Yeah. So. We did online coffee houses. We were playing and doing little shows with the band. But it's like, do you have other creative outlets, or is writing your main thing?
Well, I have about 4 suitcases full of material for making quilts.
Oh my God. And I bet you they're spectacular. Do you do story quilts?
I haven't got them done yet.
Patterns?
No. I just got the materials, not even cut out yet.
Have you ever made a quilt?
Yes.
It's the most fun.
I used to make them years ago.
Seeing blankets or quilts that I've made and seeing our kids cuddle up on the couch now with a quilt that I made is just the most ultimate. It's like a big hug you can leave them with, right? It's beautiful. Okay, where are we going next, Ida? Okay, so tell me about your brand new. You've got a book coming out that's a Christmas themed children's book that's coming out closer to Christmas, and that one is called
Santa's Birds.
Okay,
so it's based on when we were married first, and the kids were small. We were living in St. Bride's, and Thomas's father used to tell the kids about Santa's birds were watching, and we had never heard of that before, never. So it's kind of like that's the inspiration for the story. Mm-hmm. So I just came up with 2 birds, and they're in, and up in North Pole, they're the official barn wrens and stuff like that, and then how they saved Christmas. So
that's going to be available. So where can
October 3rd.
Where could somebody find your books? Are you going to put them on the platforms, or are you publishing?
No, they're on the platforms.
So on all the platforms.
Yeah. Now I'm not sure about the kids book, because how many people are going to Kobo to look for a kid's book? I don't know.
I know marketing on this. I know the research on this. The amount of people who are moving to eBooks so that you can read them in bed with your Kindle or your device.
Oh,
and
okay.
also audiobooks to go along with them.
Yeah, but audiobooks are another beast.
Oh, they're so easy. I can help you with that in a heartbeat. They're so easy. If you have the gear to do a podcast, you can do an audiobook, and it's
now I have
easy.
4 audiobooks done.
They're so easy to post. You wouldn't believe how easy they are to do. So the technical part of it is it needs to be like it needs to be like a bit of a mastering.
Yeah.
But it's just to make sure that there's a noise floor and a top end.
Yeah.
And then you need a couple of seconds between each chat. But
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Audiobooks. So
I know all that stuff.
The trend is that the ebooks. I think Barnes and Noble or maybe Draft to Digital put out some information just a little while ago over the summer, and they were saying that I sat in on like this webinar that they did, and they said the ebook market has exploded and. Audiobooks are even bigger. The trend of people going to audiobooks because they're reading to their kids at night and just letting the author read to the kids.
Yeah.
Or the ebook that they can read through, but the actual paper copy is still, people still do that, but the ebooks and the audiobooks are this electronic material that you can sell, and it puts it right in the child's hands, and the parents can spend quality time with their kids. And you can do videos on YouTube of you reading the book and turning the pages if you want to. There's such a market out there for children's books. It'll blow your mind.
I like children's books, yes, I can see, but a full blown novel, like
that's a difference.
It takes so long. And
I mean, so I think my longest one is 3.5 hours. The one I did most recently was an hour and a half.
Mine are 8 hours at least.
But people love it. They do.
I know.
Take long
I had
drives,
4.
Especially around. Do you have them already out?
Yeah, I have 4 of them out. My series is on Audible.
Yeah.
But it was expensive racket to do.
What's the other? There's other Apple. You can also put them on Apple, and Google can also take ebooks. Audiobooks.
Yeah, I
and
have
the
them on
files.
Audible, and then I put them on Audible first, but now they're on all platforms for Audible.
I found another website, Authors Republic, that'll distribute them to you for you, and so those.
But
markets,
everywhere that distributes for you, they takes 50 to 60%. So then you're you really got to be careful.
So the numbers are different in different places.
Yes,
and I'm
absolutely.
still trying to, I feel like if putting it in libraries, I know folks have a bit of an issue with putting books in libraries because you can technically read them for free. But I feel like anybody, this is my approach, anybody that reads your book is one extra person that might tell other people who.
But you also get money for your books.
And libraries will
library.
libraries will pay twice or double.
Well,
double or
but
triple
not
your
only
price.
that, but at the end of the year, you get this little stipend from the government. If your books show up in libraries, they pay you.
I didn't know that.
Oh yes, it's quite, maybe a few $100s for each book.
I did not know that either.
Yeah, you register with the PSR, PSL, PSR, I think it is, public, PLR.
Okay.
Public lending rates.
Yeah.
And if your books are in libraries, so every year they look them up, and for the first 8 or 9 years you get paid so much, and then if they're still there after so long, you get a smaller amount. But it's $80 or $90 a book, and if it's ebook you get one payment, and if it's a regular book you get another payment, and if it's Audible you get another payment.
I did not know
for
any
the same
of that.
book. Yeah.
So we had a little campaign going on in September, and I didn't know any of that stuff. But you can actually, there's a page for every single provincial library in every province and every state. You can actually go on and request if you have a library card for that area, you can request Ida Linehan Young's books or one or all of them to be carried in the library if they don't already have them. So this is one other way that your fans can help you out is if they live in a certain community or a certain province, they can ask their local library to buy your book.
Yeah,
so
I've already done that. I've already sent it because it is on overdrive. So, yeah.
So how do you engage? How have you asked people?
I just said, people, please go to your library and ask for my books.
So September, if you don't know, is Library Card Month in the U.S. And then coming up in October, it's Library Month in Canada. So we're Self Publishing Month kind of coincides with that. So we're there's a whole bunch of stuff that if we don't talk to each other, how would we know that?
But the public, the rights say if they're in the library, you can get paid.
Yeah, my first 2 are, and someone just requested.
But they could be in the library. But if you don't register with this public lending rights, then they don't pay you. They don't knock on your door and say, "Hey, you can get money from us."
Right.
You gotta.
So that's okay. So we're gonna put that in the notes for the show and the links and all that, and of course links to all your books. And so tell me about Blinders.
So Blinders is a crime thriller. It's I was passing on the on Whittlers Bay line during the COVID. I used to go over to the captain's table and buy gluten-free food once a week because they were still open. And it was hard to get something, and I wanted to support them. So I would drive across from CBS once a week, and I would buy something there. And as I was going, like the you know, so barren on the Whittlers Bay line, but there was these pans there, and I was like, imagine if there was like dead bodies in them pans. So that's kind of where it started from. And then I incorporated the lines, so the lines going across the island. I incorporated them into it as the reason for why now this was discovered, because of the lines,
when
soldiers'
sort of power lines.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how they got discovered, was because of that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, so what? Like, I still have to do something else. So then I made up a bunch of people in 2019. I wanted it to be before the pandemic because it just sometimes just too much going on, then they introduce a pandemic. So I had some people in present day, and then I was like, okay, how am I going to link them to that? So that, I just started writing, and then they started to get linking, and then I had a book.
Oh my God. I'm fascinated already. So, because there wouldn't have been any construction going on during the pandemic, so that didn't, like, working it out, the dramaturgy, it just worked, like, you worked out the details.
Yes.
So did you have a story structure in mind, or did you just wait to see how it?
Aren't
you afraid that you're not going to get to the end and not know how to finish it?
That has happened, but like what I do, I write, and then I see a stepping stone, and I step to that, and I write again, and then I step again. So that worked for every book except for The Room Upstairs, because I was like, okay, I'm at the edge of the cliff, I'm 80% in, what the hell do I do? And then I was away, I went to Ireland on a writing retreat, and I was like, maybe I'm just making it too hard. Like, I should get back to simplicity. So when I thought that way, then I was like, oh, there you go, there's my stone. I stepped on my stone, and I wrote.
So you sit and write when the next idea hits, like when the next step comes up for you, or do you sit and force yourself every single morning?
No, there's no forcing.
Okay.
No.
So you don't have a routine of you sitting at the computer just no matter what.
But like if there's something driving me, I could sit for a day and write, and then keep going like all night, or I could get up in the middle of the night because I can't sleep because something came to my mind, and I just start typing.
How important is it to have a family and support system around you that understands today's a writing day, don't come in the room, or bring me tea and snacks? Like, how important is it to have support around you?
For me, not at all, because it's like I have one little grandson that comes down to use the bathroom every day.
Okay.
So he's like, hi, Dan.
So they know when you're writing to leave you? Like,
no, they just comes down.
So how do you deal with interruptions? Like, does it interrupt the flow of ideas, or it comes back to you?
Yeah.
I talked to Andy Jones years ago, and he said he had a friend who he was a poet, and he said if he was out at dinner or something and had an idea for a poem, he would say, hold poem. And then when he would sit in front of his computer, he'd let the idea come out like that. I love that idea.
Yeah.
It got anecdotally, it got passed around that it was Andy Jones, and he was like, "No, that wasn't me. That was my friend who was a poet."
Yeah.
Really fun. Just managing the creative energy is a whole world. Like, that's, I mean, I know you can't teach somebody to be a good writer, but you can definitely teach them to manage when the energy comes through, when the ideas come through, and how to honor it and not brush it away. Like, how did you?
But then there's skills. Like, there is skills.
You need skills for the stuff to come out.
Yeah, because like you could be a horrible writer.
Yes.
And if same as a singer, like you could be a horrible singer, but if nobody tells you you're horrible, you're just going to sing.
Yeah,
so
there's always auto-tune.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans for making any of these into films?
I would absolutely 100% love it if somebody said, "Oh, these should be," like people say, these should be films, but like. Yeah, but how do you do that? You know what I mean? Like, it's not that easy. I actually had somebody who was interested in it, but like it was just because of the time period. I think it would be like very expensive, but like we're getting to be good in Newfoundland at making stuff, so you never know.
Well, the process for that, to my understanding, is, I mean, if film is something you wanted to get into, you kind of like you're doing with your sketches, like the funny little things you're doing. But that's kind of the seeds that are. But
now this lady here would not be doing it. I would like sit back and let someone else do it, and then be like, "Hey, that's not how that happened."
Yeah. Well, that's So, but so generally, like if you would be, I don't know if you want like a Netflix deal right off the hop, or if you'd be willing to like lend one of those stories to like a short film. Because
I would love it.
There's a spot in La Manche where you curve, and you're familiar with the Southern Shore, of course, and there's a spot where it's like it curves so deep, and there's these lakes and swamps on each side. And every time I go through there, I think I'm going to, like, people die here. Like, there's no way on stormy nights and stuff, and the swamp is there. If your car went in, you'd never find it again. But seeing that Witless Bay line, like the barren, like I can see the lines being put through. I can see the construction crew discovering stuff and the tape and the people with
it happened
forensics.
it happened to be a drought that year too. So so
it'd be dry.
It was starting, so things were starting to dry out, and the person that knew about him was dying.
I don't know about budgets, but I don't think that would be a hard, like as a short film, that'd be pretty manageable to create. And so short film would become
it's
longer
like
form.
it's a big picture. You know what I mean? Like it's a big story. It's not just about those bodies. It was like connecting the dots and the missing teenager that's gone, and she like the captain owned it, or the captain of the police. His daughter is missing, and he's like killing himself over not being able to find her because he's the captain of the police, right?
Yeah.
So like there's all those kind of things that are in there.
Brilliant. That would make such a good film. And I don't know if it's a series that's like Making a Murder. Maybe it's like 13 parts or something. But my understanding of that process, and actually I'm going to the Women's Film Festival next month, and I'm going to have a whole bunch of meetings with all the people who can make those things happen. And there's a lady comes down. She's from the Women in a Director's Chair, and she is dying for scripts to help women, to put women in a director's chair and make these films happen. But it starts off usually with
you can be the director if you want.
Absolutely.
You can take my story.
It starts off as like a treatment where you like do like kind of a little sample of what it would look like, and you can get money from Picture NL for that. You can get money from Canada Council or Arts NL to develop into a script. And that's a whole other process, is turning a book into a script.
But see, that's like, I'm afraid of it. I'm afraid that I'm going to start then liking that. And then
it's already happening.
No, but like I don't want to. I'm too busy.
So it's, of course, when you get really busy and successful, delegating to other people and finding people who can carry the torch and honor the stories that you're writing. Like, I think that's just smart business, really, because you get to show up on set like she's the writer, and you get to advise and be a consultant and all those things. But Blinders is, we haven't had a chance to talk about all your other books, and maybe that should be the podcast. We should start a podcast just on your books. And
we could do it.
See what happens. But then it also brings in that audience of like, there would be somebody listening and saying, I know where they could get funding for that. And I want Adam Liley from Fanshawe College to come down, and he'd be our DP. He does all the stuff for Trailer Park Boys. So I'd wanted, in that rogue kind of camera way. And he's brilliant. He teaches other people now how to do film. So he'd have classrooms of students that he could bring from Ontario. And we could go out and take over the Barrens out in La Manche or out in Witless Bay. Oh my God, it'd be amazing. But these things are happening here now.
Yeah.
If we had this conversation 25 years ago,
it'd be like, oh my gosh.
Oh, they're off in La La Land.
Yeah.
But it's very. We have a couple of different Netflix things being shot here now.
Yes,
the resources are here.
And we got a new
for.
place out in Balleen coming up now with a big studio.
The industry, the world right now is hungry for idea, like just to be able to imagine and play. They don't want documentaries are great. I did that for a really long time, but there's something about just pretending, just living in this other world that somebody else created, and there's no stakes. You can just enjoy it and go along for the ride and fall in love with the characters, and you don't know how it's going to end. And even for the people creating it, it's exciting to I don't know how this is going to go.
I had somebody who read Blinders who said that it felt like they were in a documentary.
Because it's probably,
it was so real.
I would be scared to find out how much of it you scraped the surface on. Like that, there's probably some stuff out in those barrens. Like that's probably why you get the feeling in the first place. There's probably some ghosts out there, because Newfoundland is ripe with ghosts and stories, and it's in the rocks and it's in the water. And oh my God, I could talk to you all day. I mean this. Let's do a podcast and talk about all these creative ideas, because like just being around you, I feel like as soon as we're done, I'm going upstairs and sitting at the computer and finish I'm so excited.
Awesome.
Because giving people permission to play and just imagine and have fun, because Newfoundlanders, I don't know if it's a special thing for Newfoundlanders, but we've got stories. we got like songs and stories and all these quilts and talents and all these things that people love it here. And there's a reason for it, because it's great. It's like, it makes the world a better place when you can just play and read a great book and meet people like you. And you're not guarding it like a big secret, like, I'm the only person.
Foolish. That's too foolish.
This is the kindness. Like, this is the Newfoundland kindness that people put on the tourism commercials. It's inspired by people like you. You know, it gets crazy with the red-haired kids and the freckles running around in the fields.
Yes.
But I think this is the essence of the kindness that Newfoundlanders have, is that you have this thing, and instead of guarding it, you're sharing it with other people and encouraging other people.
I'd love to, to help inspire somebody to be a writer. Like, how cool is that? Because it's something easy. Like, sit down with a piece of pen and a piece of paper. Doesn't cost you anything. Yep. Just write. Absolutely. Like, how easy is it? I mean, it's hard, but how easy is it? But
it gets better. Like, if you're not cringing, your artwork's not getting any better. Like,
that's right.
When you look at your early stuff, but you got to start somewhere. And if you're not sharing it, then you don't get a chance to find out how much people are going to love it. And it's such a missed opportunity to even consider. It makes me just thinking about not doing this next step for me, especially after talking to you. It's like, oh my, and I'm doing this show to help other people. I want to inspire other people, but I'm inspired sitting here with you. Like,
awesome. I'm glad.
I can't wait to get, and it just, I mean, there's just so much there's such a world out there. And the idea, too, that you need to start when you're 18 or 20 is ridiculous.
I started when I wanted to publish my first book before I turned 50. I published it on September 7th, and I turned 50 on the 11th. And now I got, like, I'm 61 and I got 12 books.
Oh my God. I mean, that makes my little 48th birthday.
I got several more to go.
So I got time.
Yes.
I mean, before I even turned 50.
Yes.
So I'm like, what am I complaining about? How am I complaining about a little bit of gray hair or like my little mom belly? Like, who cares?
Yes, but
Nobody cares about stuff like that.
No.
That's a beautiful.
The older you get, the less you care. Like,
but the stories just get richer, and you're like, they're having that confidence to be like, you know what, I'm putting out a good book. And I mean, you're amazing. I'm very serious about starting a podcast. I would just as a place for people to go who are considering writing, like, you make it accessible. I'm on the other end of it, where like, look, here's how you're going to format. Here's how you're going to sign up for your ISBN number. Sorry, for your ISBN. The N stands for number. The tax interview.
But all that's easy.
Unless you don't know how to do it.
Unless you don't know how to do it. But
so you can spend your time
Google
learning
stuff,
it.
Right? Like,
oh yeah, you can spend your time learning it, or you can pass it over. You need a cover, pass it over to my husband, graphic designer husband, or I can show you, walk you through in a little workshop. We're doing free workshops at the Arts and Culture Center next month. So you can come learn it for free. But then the writing part of it is, I'm able to help when your manuscript is ready to publish. Like, when you know the story,
and I'm able to help before that.
So this is just it between the two of us. You could take somebody by the hand, walking through the whole thing, and then our band could play at the launch party. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, I could go on
We're
all day.
set.
Oh my God, it's
set for life.
We figured it all out. It's all gonna be great. Okay, so Ida Linehan Young, thank you so much for being on Are You Mad at Me? You are an
I'm
inspiration.
not mad at you. Thank you.
Well, that's good to know. You gotta wonder. I go through life wondering who's mad at me.
Who cares?
And apparently, exactly.
It's none of your business, actually.
Exactly. What am I going to do about it? I mean, All right. So I'm Vickie Morgan, and this is Ida Linehan Young. And
Thank you.
All of our books are available on all the platforms. And you're supporting self-publishing. You're supporting actual authors. There's a whole bunch of money goes in our pocket instead of in a big publisher's pocket, which is great.
Yeah.
Help the publishers too, because they all have staff and office people that they need
there's
to make
a time.
a living too.
Yeah, and there's a time to, I had the following and I was able to do it.
Absolutely. But it was and I'm really glad you're joining the world of self-publishing. We've got events coming up where we're going to hear, we're going to read from our books, and there's lots of workshops. And stay tuned. Keep in touch with us, because I think there's a bunch of other stuff coming down the pipe that's going to be, all the books you've got in your head.
Even a cooperative publishing company. Like, that's a co-op.
People are going to look at this years from now and go, that's where it started. That was the moment right there. All right. Thank you for watching Are You Mad at Me? I'm Vickie Morgan.